Hey guys, this is Sharad with REsimpli. In this video, we're going to talk about how to make your direct mail marketing effective and more profitable. Cool. So on a typical direct mail marketing, what people do is they'll buy a couple of different lists. In this example, I have taken two lists. One is my absentee list with 5,000 records. And I've taken another list of probate with 1,000 records in it. So what I've done here is, in this example, what typically investors would do it, they would combine this into one list with 6,000 records. Then they would send out direct mail. So let's say they send out direct mail to these 6,000 people, they get 100 calls from it. So their response rate in this case would be 1.67%, which is 100 divided by 6,000. And of those 100 calls or 100 leads that they get, let's say they go on 20 appointments. So their appointment conversion rate is 20% from the 100 leads that came in. And of the 20 appointments that they went, they made 5 offers. So their offer rate was 25% of the 20 appointments, which is 5 divided by 20. And then they got one deal out of it. So, which is great. You know, they went on 100 leads to 20 appointments, 20 appointments to 5 offers, 5 offers to one deal, which is fantastic. And if we look at the numbers, total mailers were sent out were 6,000 pieces. Let's just for this example, let's say cost per mailer is 50 cents, excuse me. Total cost for direct mail is going to be 6,000 multiplied by 50 cents, $3,000. And let's say the investor in this kit made $15,000 from this deal. So the total ROI is going to be $5, which means for every dollar that the investor put into the marketing, he made $5. So in this case, the investor spent $3,000 in marketing and made $15,000 in revenue. So the ROI is $5. Okay, in this case, I'm not including the cost of list, which is going to be separate. There's other costs, but just to keep it simple. So on paper, you know, initially it sounds great. You're like, fantastic. You know, I should keep doing this more often. But I've taken this example and this same thing, direct mail, I've broken it into 2 separate lists now. So what I've done is I've taken the same data that you start with. So you have an absentee list of 5,000 and you have a probate list of 1,000 people. So what you're going to do is, in this case, you send out 5,000 postcards or letters to your absentee list. You send direct mail, you get 80 calls from it. So your response rate is 1.6%, which is 80 divided by 5,000. And of those 80 calls or 80 leads that you get, you go on 12 appointments. So your appointment rate is 15%. Which is 12 appointments for 80 leads that you get. And then you go ahead and you make 3 offers on those 12 appointments. So you're making about 25% is your offer rate, but you get 0 deal. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. So if you look at the mailers that you send out is 5,000, again, 50 cents per mailer. Your total cost for direct mail is $2,500. However, you have 0 revenue. So your ROI is 0 or you cannot calculate it. Now let's look at the probate list. Okay, you sent out 1,000 direct mail pieces and you get 20 calls from it. So your response rate is about 2%, 20 calls from 1,000 records. And then you go on 8 appointments. So your appointment rate is 40%. And then from 8 appointments, you make 2 offers and then you get 1 deal out of it. Okay, so it's your 50% acceptance rate. And in this case, if you look at your numbers, you have 1,000 direct mail pieces that you sent out. Your cost per mailer is 50 cents. So total money that you spent on marketing to probate list is $500. And total money that you made is $15,000. Your ROI is $30. So every dollar that you put into marketing, you got 30x return on it. So basically invested $500 in marketing to your probate list and you made 15,000, which is 30 times return. So again, if you added up all these numbers, it adds up to this right here. So what I've done is I've just taken this example and I've broken it into 2 separate lists. So why this is really important is for you to know that when you're marketing to different lists, it's really, really important for you to know where your leads and where your, especially your deals are coming from. You don't want to look at all the lists combined. You want to break your list into, you want to break your entire marketing into different lists and look at your numbers separately. So let me show you how this is done, how we do it in our business. So I'm going to go in right here. So what you would do is essentially you want to use separate phone numbers to be able to track your different marketing. So in this case, you can see I have a direct mail absentee list phone number set up and direct mail probate list. So now what would happen is anytime anybody calls me on this number, I would know that this lead came from my absentee list. If somebody calls me on my probate list, then I would know that this lead came from my probate list. So if I go back to my example right here, this is how I can separate my leads, my data, based on which list the calls are coming from. So if I go into one of the leads right here, let me see this one. If you look at this lead Donald Duck came from direct mail absentee. So even when, besides knowing the numbers, it's also really important because the conversation that you're going to have with a seller that's on absentee list versus somebody that's on probate list, it's going to be completely different. So it's really important for you to know which list your campaigns, which campaign is actually working for you. So how you do that is by setting up different phone numbers. We've even seen people, what they do sometimes is they will send out direct mail, and just for the ease of it, they will use their own personal cell phone number, which is a big no-no. It's easy, it's convenient. However, the issue that comes in is you never know where your leads are coming from. It's really, really important if you want to make the most money possible with your marketing to know which marketing is actually working for you. And you do that by breaking your entire data into different lists, whether it's absentee, probate, driving per dollar, whatever that might be, and then setting up different campaigns like I showed you right here. So you set up, essentially you have a phone number, you assign it a lead source, and you give it a campaign name. In this case, it's an absentee list. And then, we have call flow. So based on if somebody calls on your absentee list, how do you want the call to be routed versus somebody calling on your probate list? How do you want the call to be routed? Again, this could be an example of if somebody calls on your probate list, you might want to have that call be forwarded directly to your cell phone versus if somebody calls on your absentee list, you might want to have that call be forwarded to, let's say, an answering service like Call Porter. That's what we use in our business. So you might want to do the same thing. If you are using an answering service, and then some leads you might want to have be forwarded directly to you. So once you have this data over a period of time, then you can start looking at your KPIs, which is really, really important. It's often overlooked part of your business, but this is where you start making higher profit in your business. The goal is not to just increase your top line. The goal is not to make $1 million in revenue and actually at the end of the day have only 50,000 left over. I would rather only make 900,000, but be very effective and targeted with my marketing and have $250,000 or $300,000 in net profit versus $50,000 net profit with a bunch of overheads, not being effective with my marketing, and only having 50,000, making 50,000 or $1 million in revenue. So if you look here in this example, what I've done is, so I have put in some numbers for how much money I've spent on probate, how much money I've spent on absentee list. Again, these are just dummy numbers, but you can see, it might look, if I look at everything in aggregate, I see that I'm spending $5,000 in direct mail. I'm making $55,000. Sounds great. I can see my ROI is $11 for every dollar basically that I'm putting into marketing. I'm making $11 back as revenue. But once you go deeper into another level, you see that out of that 5,000, I actually spent $1,500 in marketing to probate list and $3,500 marketing to absentee list. And when I look at how much money I made from that probate list, I made $30,000 from this property. And on my absentee list, I made $25,000 marketing from this property. So I can see actually my separate ROI for my probate list is 20 and my absentee list, it's $7.14. So now that gives me really good data about my business that when I'm marketing just to probate lists, I'm making 20x on my marketing dollar with direct mail versus absentee, I'm making $7.14 for every dollar that I'm putting into direct mail. Now imagine with this data, what you can do is, let's say you're expanding your marketing, right? You're doing really good. The next thing you want to do is you want to expand into cold calling. Now that you have that data, which is the list that you're going to pick first if you have limited budget? You're going to pick probate because that's where you're doing really good with your marketing with direct mail. So chances are once you implement your cold calling or some other marketing, that you would want to start with your probate list, because that's where you have a higher chance of making more money from your marketing versus absentee list. So this is why it's really, really important to know which list is working for you. And you want to review that on a monthly or at a minimum quarterly basis. So, as your leads are coming in, this is just one part of it. You're looking at like cost per lead. If you look here, your cost per lead is actually higher for a probate list versus your absentee list. Your cost per deal, that's what matters. It's lower for your probate list versus your absentee list. So that's where you want to look at all your numbers combined, and also separate by list, so you can make better decisions in your business and start getting very, very targeted with your marketing. At the end of the day, the real estate investing business, if you want to be successful, it's very, very marketing driven. So you always are trying to be more effective with your marketing. Simple things like you want to track how many leads do you need before you go on an appointment? How many appointments do you go on before you make an offer? If you look here, in this example, for my absentee list, I need 3 leads before I go on an appointment. However, my probate list tends to be very motivated. And for every lead that I get, I go on an appointment. Every appointment that I go on, I make an offer. Every offer that I make, I get a deal out of it. So that gives you really good data that tells you if you have a lead that comes in on your probate list, it's super, super motivated. And that's a lead you need to jump on and make sure you make it a priority over anything else, over, let's say, an absentee list lead that comes in. So there you have it. Hope you guys like this video. If you do, please like the video, share it, and subscribe it so we can continue providing more educational content for you. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment. Or if you want to reach us by email, please send us an email to support@resimpli.com. Thank you so much and have a great day. Thank you.